It's a special day, Paul.
No, it isn't.
I think it's your birthday. I think it
Oh,
is.
God damn it.
Yep. Yep.
I was hoping to slide in under the wire there.
Well, you're about to slide into the background noise of my furnace. Kicked on
Yeah.
conveniently at the same time. Also, the plumber came yesterday and hopefully fixed my... Well, let me put it this way. He fixed my pipe. Hopefully he did not ruin my sump pump setup. But,
Did you see a proctologist, or is this a... I'm here all week.
No, it's literally the drain. They fixed the drain, and then he had to break up part of the floor, which was very close, actually on top of almost the sump pump, like little channel that they have installed. He says as he put the channel back in, everything is great, and then it should be fine. I have to take his word for it until it rains, which apparently is going to happen, I think, tomorrow and Thursday, conveniently on Halloween, which is back-to-back years in Cincinnati where it has rained on Halloween.
Right.
To the dismay of my daughter.
I asked you recently about those kind of Halloween attraction sites, and you were telling me they were all over the place, which I guess makes sense. It just wasn't like a thing where I grew up or whatever. But do you guys also, this is something they do in this area, they celebrate Halloween on different nights depending on the town? I know, it's crazy, right? Yeah.
So, yes, but no. My town celebrates it on Halloween regardless of the day.
Right.
There are...
Right. It's the day. That's the day. I mean,
yeah, there are other locales that will do it always on like the last Saturday of the month so the little kiddies don't get hit by cars. And we don't care about those kids in our town, Paul. It is on the day at nighttime.
No, as God, or I guess the leader of the underworld, prefers, it should be that day. You know, that's how I think of it. But yeah, I guess So around here, we went out on, I guess it was Saturday night, and there were, in the town we were in, like it was like a Norman Rockwell Halloween extravaganza. It was amazing.
Well, speaking of Satan and his dwellings, two things. One, physics has changed in my basement somehow. This light has not moved since the studio has been built, and yet somehow now it is
Brad,
reflecting.
It's time I chime you in on something very important with regards to technology, because as we've been taught, technology is digital. It's ones and zeros. If you do things the same way every time, it should always be the same. But what I've discovered over 20 whatever years of covering technology is that it's not ones and zeros. It's not consistent. It's not reliable. It's black magic. You never know what you're going to get.
Well, this is even more scary because this is physics. Like, it should abide by certain laws of reflection and refraction.
Only now, Brad, do you understand the true power of software.
It can't be this one over here, can it? No, it's got to be.
Here's what's going to sell this is I'm going to move my hand and it's going to block the light.
At that point, I just slowly close the laptop lid, just walk away, and you never hear from me again.
Exactly. It was like our Blair Witch moment.
But, yeah, so these things kind of came out of, I wouldn't say nowhere because I think they were rumored to be launching, but I was really tempted for 8-9 minutes.
All right, so I'm curious. You didn't order them?
I didn't, but I'm not saying I'm not ever going to buy them.
So in other words, maybe someday when it's time to upgrade the AirPods you already have, you go with this first. Because I'm curious myself, as I guess I sort of am with any Apple product. But of course, I'm not an Apple guy. But I like the design. I like the idea of it. I like the, because other earphones obviously do this, but you can kind of do that ambient mode pass through. Oh, they call it transparency mode or whatever. But you don't want to be walking on the streets of New York with noise canceling on, right?
Right.
I mean, you kind of do, but
here's the reason why I almost bought them is I only want these for one specific reason, for airplanes. Because currently when I'm on a plane, I use just wired earbuds like a peasant and whatever. They work perfectly fine. And they were like $40, the earbuds.
I guess so, but I can't, I wouldn't travel personally on a plane without noise canceling something. I mean, it's such a difference. And
the little, like when you have earbuds that do the suction thing, it's it's fine for me.
Oh, they do a little bit of like passive noise canceling, I guess, just by suctioning over your ear. Yeah. Okay.
So that's what I would want them for. Everything else is just kind of whatever, but I don't know. I want to. $250 is pretty steep for those.
Yeah.
It's not cheap.
Right. What's the battery life? Do you remember?
I think they said 4 hours. So
that's actually Yeah.
terrible. I don't know. I'm sure the
That's terrible,
recharge.
but that's not like a flight over the Atlantic either, which is kind of a
Right.
problem.
So we'll see.
Hmm.
I might still end up getting them. I'd like to get through some of these basement remodels, and oh yeah, Paul. So this was fun. This was fun.
Mhm.
Since we've talked about one technology thing, it's time for one non-technology thing. Um,
Okay.
so I don't drive my car a ton, but it's usually just
Mhm.
like pick my kid up from school and back. We're probably less than 1,000 miles a month. There's probably more miles on my car from my house to Home Depot than there are anywhere else.
Right.
Um,
Right.
Conveniently, Saturday, tire
Mhm.
popped, leaking. She's leaking. Tires
Yep.
deflating. Take it to tire discounters. They said, "Sir, your tires are 7 years old. We do not service tires
Yikes.
that are over 5 because it's a liability on our company."
Yep.
And I went, fantastic. And now, granted, I knew in the back of my head my tires were just, it was about time. It was about time.
Right.
I'd also been saying for about 18 months that when the tires go, I'm just going to go buy a new car because
Mm-hmm.
tires on a vehicle are not cheap.
That's true.
But so I left tire discounters. My wife picked me up and said, "Hey, we need to go buy a new car." And she says, "No, we're not." So I walked right back in and bought some tires.
Yeah. That sounds like a conversation I would have had with my wife as well.
Mm-hmm.
Except that the way I would have done it is I would have bought the car, come home with it, and she would have said, "Go back, return it."
Yeah. Actually, to be fair, it's probably more on me than my wife. Like I went and sat in the car, and if we weren't doing this massive like basement
Yeah.
renovation stuff, I probably would have just done it.
Yeah. Yeah. Of
But
course.
the problem is that I don't know if you've ever experienced this, Paul. When you do home renovations and stuff, things tend to cost just a little bit more than you maybe budgeted for.
I have experienced that. I got to tell you, I was talking to someone over the weekend about the possibility of me doing Ethernet, like I had mentioned earlier. And then on Sunday, my wife and I went to Home Depot and we bought a bunch of salt, for our stupid salt thing that we have here, the water softener or whatever. And then we decided to. This is it's unbelievable. I decided to. I'm going to go out to the front porch and I'm going to replace the lights that are out there. There's 2 sets of lights. There's one light over the door and then 2 over at the other end of the porch with hue lights. So we can do the color thing across the front, right? Because we have the...
Yeah, it worked out so well last time. Let's
yeah.
double down.
Yep. You know what? This should have been a simple 15-minute one-man job. And I got out to the first set of lights, and I couldn't get the screw thing to come off. There's the 2 of them, I couldn't. And so finally, I had to involve my wife. We spent 3 hours on this, and I mean this. We swapped out 3 light bulbs. So why could something that simple take 3 hours, other than the fact that I am a complete buffoon, right? Is because both of the things that cover the lights are the most unbelievably ridiculous. And someone will understand this because they maybe have seen it, but the one over the door was unbelievable. It kind of just goes up flat and flush, and it was painted on because we had the thing painted. So we had to get a razor and kind of unstick it, and then you pop down. What it has is these 2 sets of wires.
Oh yeah, I'm very familiar.
Unless you've seen this.
You want to see some magic?
Yeah.
Keep talking.
Okay. So this is like literally the most ridiculous way to secure something that I've ever seen in my life.
Oh, I can't get it.
It's ridiculous. And of course, because this thing had been on the house since it was built, most likely since the 1980s, these things are rusted and they were misshapen. I mean, they're supposed to be misshapen because if you've seen them, you know the shape they're supposed to be. Dude, we spent hours on this. Because we got the thing off. It was getting it back on. That was it was unbelievable. And anyway, we finally did it. But then I was telling my wife, I'm like, Brad and I have been talking about this home reno stuff lately, and he's been doing all this work at his house and everything. And I was telling you how I'm not capable of doing even. I replaced light bulbs, and it was difficult. I think it's important.
Hold on.
It's like a Clint Eastwood thing. This must have been, I think it was in a Dirty Harry movie, like a man should understand his limitations. Right? Wasn't that like the 2nd or 3rd Dirty Harry movie?
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I wasn't paying any attention because This is what he's talking about.
Yeah, that's actually a nicer looking version of what I'm talking about. But yeah, fair enough. Yeah.
I literally
So
just...
actually, just put that up a little bit. And I don't know if yours is exactly, no, it's not. So yours is a little different. So on mine, one of the two wires is straight, like on yours both are. The other one actually has kind of a weird little curve to it. And I think it's that curve that provides the tension, so that when you push it up, one side just goes up because it's straight, it's no problem. The other side has to go over that bump, and then that bump is what holds it from falling down, because it's in two little clippy things.
Yep.
Dude, this is something I didn't need to know about. I'm sorry I ever experienced it. I cannot believe that this is the design.
So people are curious what the dome or the can lights are that I've put in my basement. They are these. I literally just took one down, the one that's disconnected because it creates a weird shadow in here.
Yep.
I put 5 more of these bad boys in this weekend. There's now 10 of them in my basement.
I mean, granted, those are new, so they probably work better, but this thing was also square, not round like those.
Yeah.
Not that that should matter, but the piece around the glass has to fit exactly into that hole or whatever.
Yep. They're fun.
Dude, oh, it was terrible. Oh, here's the best part. I'm sorry. I left out the best part. Other than the sheer amount of time it took. The first time we actually got it back on, this is unbelievable. I turn the lights on. I go to the hue light thing. You can't find the lights. And if it can't find the lights, you got to take them out, note the serial number down, put them back in, power them on. You know what I mean? It was a comedy. Comedy of errors, yeah.
That's amazing. Well, at least we know now how many throats it takes to change a light bulb. So we got that.
Yeah, all of them. Yeah. All of the adult throats, yeah.
Google dropped their earnings yesterday, and by dropped, I mean their profits were down. They still made money. They still made a lot of money.
By the way, $40 billion in revenues.
Yeah, that's,
$40 billion.
It's quite a.
It's not bad.
Quite a few dollars. It's actually
85% of that is advertising dollars. By the way,
to put that in perspective, that's about what 10 billion more than Microsoft makes.
That's what I'm saying. It's kind of amazing.
But it's only from primarily. So, what is 80% of 40 billion? What? That's 10% is 4.
So it's actually better than it. So the number is actually 85%, but you got to remember their other bets do contribute revenue. So it's probably, actually, I apologize. It would be less than 80% because of this is, I think it's the overall Alphabet revenues. I'm not 100% sure, but let's say it's in the 80% range. That is incredible, right? They do make money on other things, just not as much, not very much.
Put it in perspective, their advertising business roughly makes the total revenue of all of Microsoft.
Yeah, I know. And it's weird because this business obviously is not growing as fast as it used to. Like, a lot of people are kind of nervous about the future with advertising and everything. I don't think these types of things don't drop off the face of the earth overnight, right? This is a humongous business. But yeah, I guess the R&D was what caused the profit shortfall, because obviously they're trying to make money other ways.
Well, yeah, I mean, if 32-ish billion is coming from advertising, you got about 8 billion left from your other bets.
I mean, from a profit perspective, the other bets are nothing but a loss. I think it was a net loss. It was in the billion area. It was it's always pretty terrible.
Yeah, because they had about 7 billion of net income, which Microsoft had more net income on lower revenue, actually, because they had 10 billion in net income.
That's right.
Fun with numbers.
Yeah, there's a lot of uncertainty around Google too because of the antitrust stuff. So Microsoft's just kind of riding a high right now. They just got the Jedi contract, although we'll see if that holds up. They're in good shape.
Yeah, well, Microsoft won. The Jedi was 10 billion. They will spend about $1 billion probably defending that in court. Then,
so by 2030, it might be profitable for the company. Yeah.
But as I was talking with somebody at the company about this, they said the Jedi contract is great. They're going to make money and do all that stuff. The real value is going to come from all the other government agencies that have different stuff that are now going to be like, I might as well just go on Azure because that's where Jedi is. It's just going to make our life easier. Because the CIA apparently uses AWS, and that brought a ton of business to Amazon for the exact same reason.
Right.
because
That makes sense.
not only does the CIA use it, but the CIA probably requires all their vendors to use AWS because then it's all on the same cloud. So
Right.
that'll be, yeah, that should be a pretty substantial win for Microsoft there.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, well, Amazon will contest it, and we'll see what happens there. But it always seemed like that this contract should have been split between Amazon and Microsoft. I think that's the logical outcome. But even that's kind of a win for Microsoft when you think about it.
Oh, yeah.
If that should ever happen, I mean, they're still considered to be on the same page as Amazon.
And that's the big win is that at the end of the day, they're now not that I don't think they were, but AWS is the market leader by a pretty sizable portion, and Microsoft is just slowly chipping away at that with either just by going saying, hey, you don't want to be competing against Amazon, come use our cloud type scenario, and so. Yeah.
Well, also, I mean, just from a fundamental reliability perspective, you got to split that stuff up between multiple services. I mean, even if nothing else concerns you, like it just makes sense on that level. And those are the two big players. So it's good.
So we will see. We shall see. Is there anything else going on yesterday in the past couple of days besides my plumbing?
The big thing is, Call of Duty came out.
Oh, yeah.
No, but actually, so I have to say, like, this one is pretty damn impressive. Like, they've kind of gone back to basics in a way, which, maybe should have been hinted at by the name of the game. But like I do these days, I mean, by these days, I mean, like the past decade, I guess, I kind of focus on the multiplayer stuff. And so I was doing that over Friday or whatever. And it's great. The levels are great. Like, they're notably good. That has not always been the case past couple of games. There's always a couple of good ones. But actually, this one is great. And then, Saturday morning, I was like, I should at least check out the campaign. Dude, the campaign is fantastic. And I can't even remember the last time I said that. I like, the World War II campaign was good, but it was okay. But like this one, like, I actually want to play it. Like, I want to continue it. Like, it's maybe Modern Warfare 2. I don't know how far back I have to go.
Yeah.
It's been a long time. Really good. Really good.
Good.
Yeah.
I'm happy you're happy. Also, Google is rumored to be buying Fitbit. Supposedly made a bid for that. This
is the two turkeys don't make an eagle thing. Like Wear OS has failed. Obviously, Fitbit's fitness trackers are great, but that's not the future of this business, right? It's these smartwatches. And I don't own a Fitbit smartwatch, but from what I can tell, they're actually pretty great. The problem is they haven't been selling well, and especially compared to Apple Watch, which, is now in its 5th generation and is kind of a capable device in its own right without needing a phone and so forth. It's tough competition. So I do think this is smart. I do think they should buy Fitbit. I assume if that happens, they will have to transition the smartwatch to Wear OS. And, so far that hasn't been great. Although I've always actually kind of liked the UI. I mean, back when it was Android Wear or whatever, I always thought it kind of made sense. But obviously the market has moved in a slightly different direction.
Yeah, you know what else is great too, Paul? So I prepaid for 3 years of Disney Plus because it was a great deal. It's a great deal.
Yep.
And now Verizon's giving me a year free because I'm a Verizon
That's
customer.
amazing.
Yeah. So I'm very happy I paid for it.
Are you going to be able to stack those, or how does that work? Yeah.
I'll let you know once I find out here. So.
Yeah, I didn't see the Verizon thing coming. It was kind of an unusual perk. It's like, especially since, like, I don't feel that Disney Plus needs any extra promotion.
I don't either.
It's rather astonishing, like, how quickly this thing has established itself. It's not even out yet, and it's already one of the major players.
Yeah. Well, it's because we all know they have the content. I think for Disney at this point, they don't really care. Like, I don't think they need to make money. Obviously, they're hoping to do it. But I bet if Verizon came to them and said, hey, we'll give you $1 per subscriber, would you take it? And they're like, yeah, why not? Because for them, their earnings are going to probably be tied to how many people jumped into that pool from day one.
Right. Yeah. So the successful adoption of the service, regardless of the financials, is going to boost their stock price. There's no doubt about it. Like, this is a big deal.
Yep. So there we go. You got anything else for today, Mr. Paul?
So we're doing Windows Weekly today at noon Eastern for people who watch that show. Not on Wednesday. It's because of the rolling blackout thing they're having in California, and I guess they're planning disruptions in that area. And that means I'll be doing What the Tech Tomorrow with Andrew at 1. So everything's screwed up this week. Actually, I should mention, by the way, a long time ago, we had planned to have kind of like a long weekend thing with friends this weekend. And then, of course, Microsoft is having Ignite at the exact same weekend. So our friends are still coming. We're not going to go anywhere, but I'm probably going to be, I will be out basically on Friday for the day. I'll do the podcast, of course, from wherever we are. And then I'm flying to Ignite on Sunday. So, I mean, they'll just hang out with Steph or whatever. But Thursday, this doesn't impact our podcast, but I'm probably going to be out all afternoon as well. You know, we originally, like, we were going to do something for this weekend, and now it's like all screwed up. So, so just, I won't be doing Ask Paul or anything on Friday. I'm not going to have time.
It's going to be, next week is going to be crazy busy. I've already seen how that's shaken out.
I know. I got this initial, did you get I can't talk about it. So I got an initial email about something that's happening at Ignite, and I thought it was going to be the schedule, and I got really excited, and it wasn't. So Ignite starts on Monday or Sunday, depending on how you look at it, and here we are. We literally do not have our schedules, and this is the thing. Like, obviously, there are people we work with who want to schedule the whole week for us and fill up every nook and cranny with something. And it's hard because we don't, well, A, we don't want to do that, but also B, because we don't know what our meeting schedule is, et cetera, et cetera. So here we are. It's, what is it, Tuesday? Yeah, we're like down to the wire, as always, you know.
Yeah, so there we go. There we go. All right, everybody, that wraps it up for today. We should be back the rest of the week, I think, unless, you know.
Unless a pipe explodes or some other proctology-related problem occurs.
Not going to jinx it.